Hello again, this is Sam Houston, and welcome to My Front Porch. Aim your anger in the right direction. Seems like most everyone is angry these days, especially when it comes to any discussion even remotely related to data centers. There are a lot of concerns and a lot of confusion as to what authority cities and counties have been granted to regulate these entities. There also seems like a lack of consensus on the part of the citizens of the state of what they want Texas to look like over the next 25 years. The world, including Texas, is going to change over the next 50 years, just like it grew from the time of the Comanche to today. It's inevitable. Our goal should be to manage that change so we achieve the benefits of growth, but minimize the problems that can come with that growth. For myself, in my research and investigation, I've come to learn that saying data centers is a lot like saying vegetable, but no more than onions are like carrots or lettuce is like a bean. Not all data centers are the same. They should be judged on their own individual merits, just like any other business project. Lumping all data centers into one general category is foolhardy and fails to separate projects that are responsible with those that are not. I've got no clear definition as to what a data center is and what defines a business as being a data center. Is it simply a loose term that's used for any sort of business which has large-scale data processing or computing capabilities? There are some plans for data centers here in Hood County. I find some of these objectionable because of their large dependency on the electric grid or drilling into the water table as a source to cool the machinery. There are also legitimate concerns about pollution and the noise they might create. Any business which comes into the county, at a minimum, should be a good neighbor to those who live here and have made Hood County their home. On the other hand, if a data center creates its own power, does not use large quantities of water, can successfully pass the federal and state air pollution requirements, and does not generate excessive noise, I see no reason to be so dramatically opposed. Just like any other business, they will put money into our local economy, will in the long run reduce the tax burden on homeowners, and will generate jobs and economic stimulation. I repeat, not all data centers are the same, and as such, they should be judged on their own merits, not as a whole. It does seem like people are misdirecting their anger and concerns. Back in 2000, Texas used 57.6 gigabytes of power a day. Since then, the population of Texas has increased from 20.9 million to 31 million people. The growth has been consistent, constant, and proudly promoted by our governor and legislature. The Texas governmental authorities have spent thousands of dollars encouraging people to come to Texas and boasting about the success of our economy and the Texas business environment. Over the past 25 years, even a blind man could see the growth in population. And obviously, with growth comes demand for additional power sources. The power demand is now estimated to be somewhere around 85.5 gigawatts during peak time periods like the heat of summer or during a dramatic cold front. There are published estimates that by 2030, the demand could be double that number. My question is, what has the governor and the legislature done to prevent an obvious electrical crisis in the very near future? While the Texas authorities were touting to the world how large companies were moving to Texas along with thousands of individuals moving here each month, why the heck didn't they get off their duffs and realize we need to create more means of generating and distributing power to meet that growth? I mean, if I was accustomed to fixing dinner for 6 people, and I knew 30 more were coming to the evening meal, I'd order more groceries and plan how to cook that meal and have it ready when the people were ready to eat. I wouldn't wait for everybody to sit down at the dining room table and then try to figure it out. Failing to act on the future energy needs of Texas has been short-sighted, and I fear we are about to start to feel the consequences. I read this week that Corpus Christi is in a dire situation when it comes to a supply of fresh water. They've been in drought for several years, and as such, they may have to step up rationing and limit the consumption of water. There's simply not enough supply to service the number of citizens. Why didn't the legislature and the governor start making leadership decisions on how to solve what was obviously going to be a problem before it became a problem? Leadership is not yelling fire when the building is up in flames. It's taking those steps necessary to prevent the fire from ever starting. Local politicians are maneuvering and trying to all sorts of creative ways to control development on the county level. While their intentions may be good, there are considerable legal questions as to the legal authority of counties to regulate economic development. It is not the fault of the city council or the county commissioners that they are bound and sworn to follow the existing state law. Voters should ask, why hasn't the legislature taken action to give Texas counties greater authority to regulate development and create statewide guidelines regarding water usage, electrical usage, pollution, noise level, and safety concerns? Direct your voice at the people who are responsible for the shape we're in, and that's our elected officials at the state level. Their lack of leadership and vision is creating a quagmire that is only getting worse and creating all sorts of conflicts and dilemmas, which can only mean lawsuits and political turmoil. This leads to delay and extraordinary expense, which will ultimately be placed on the shoulders of the taxpayers. Make your voice heard and reach out to your state senator, state representative, and the governor's office, and demand that steps be taken to correct these issues. Being mad at the mailman because he delivered a bill makes no sense. Complain to the person who's sending the bill. Thought for the day. The only thing worse than being blind is being able to see and having no vision. Helen Keller. And until next time, I'll keep riding the storm out.
You've been listening to From My Front Porch with Sam Houston, brought to you by the Granbury Theater Company. You can catch Sam's column every week in the print edition of the Hood County News or online at hcnews.com.